This program proudly brought to you by Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm. For men who dare to care.
G'day, Wayne Carey here. Welcome to Just AFL. If you ask any AFL player what his major goal is during the season, it won't be taking Mark of the Year or kicking Goal of the Year. You'll generally find his answer is to be consistent. Kevin Bartlett played a staggering 403 games with the Tigers, and Michael Tuck 426 in his illustrious career with the Hawks. They're records that will probably never be broken. On today's show, we look at some of the modern day consistent performers and find out the secrets to their success.
I make sure they get the right amount of sleep and follow a pretty strict diet.
Wayne Campbell talks to an exercise physiologist who may have the answer to preventing one of football's most common injuries.
Squeeze all the way in, go all the way out.
And Barnesy goes head to head with one of the most consistent performers of the modern era.
The one I'm looking for is right around the corner.
But first, we join a champion teammate of mine who's there week in, week out and has been since his career began in 1985.
G'day, I'm John Blakey from the Kangaroos, and preparation for training or for a game is very important. I don't think I would have survived 17 seasons and over 300 games of AFL footy if it wasn't for the certain routines I follow during the week. Here he comes. Whoa, good catch. You know, I look after myself pretty well, and I think if you train pretty well and train to improve all the time, that you keep up with the change of the game. And also I haven't had a lot of injuries, which has really helped. I haven't had to recover from nagging injuries, so I think that's helped longevity. It's Craig Bradley. I sort of mould myself on him. He's still running around. I think he's 38 in October, and I look at a guy like him and look at the way he prepares and think to myself, well, if he can do it, there's no reason why other guys can't do it. And I follow a pretty strict preparation during the week. I make sure they get the right amount of sleep and follow a pretty strict diet. What do you want, some Vegemite sandwiches? All right. And then come match day, I usually have a bit of a sleep in, and Kelly looks after the kids, and I have a bit of time to myself. Go for a bit of a jog here before I leave home and just think about what I've got to do. Then once I get to the game, I've got a certain trainer that always has a kick with me, so I have a bit of a kick with him before we go out. And then when we go out, I always make sure that I run through the banner last, because I don't like touching the paper on the banner, a bit of a superstition. So I always try and get through the banner last, and once I've done that, I know everything's right, and away I go and hopefully play well. Unfortunately, some of the other guys have cottoned onto my going through the banner last, and Adam Simpson and Big Spider Burton, it's a bit of a fight who can be the last one through the banner without touching the paper, so you'll quite often see the three of us hanging out the back. I prepare a lot differently now. In the early days, I used to really push myself and do a lot of extra work. Running, a lot of extra running, a lot of extra swimming and a little bit of riding. But now as I've got a little bit older, I try and look after the body a bit more, and I find rest is very important. So I monitor my training a lot more, and my fitness is never a problem now, so it's important that I get the rest and make sure that I come up for the games each week. Who's your favourite player? And who else? What about Archie? What's Archie?
A mad dog.
Yeah, Archie's a mad dog, isn't he?
Doesn't wear a mouth guard.
No, he doesn't wear a mouth guard. He's crazy.
Johnny's 35 soon. I reckon he'd probably have another 10 years in him.
I put all my efforts into playing football, and you know that's been my life ever since I've been a little kid. You know, I've played since I was 8. 35 next week, so that's what I want to do. You don't expect to keep playing for 17 years, and you know, I'm very happy that I've been able to do so. I'm going to stay involved, and I'd love to get it tied up with coaching and take it from there.
Hi, I'm Tristan Rowan. The career of Jim Stynes at the Melbourne Football Club is one of the greatest stories in football. He was an excellent servant for the Demons over 12 seasons, and I can't wait to kick back with the man who still holds the record for the most consecutive number of games. Hey Jim, how are you?
Good, Tristan, how you doing?
Good, thanks. So 244 games in a row, how did you do it and what was your secret?
Well, I don't know how I did it. Maybe I was a bit crazy, a bit stupid, a bit passionate. And I actually was a bit scared to miss a game because I thought if I got dropped, or if I missed, I might get dropped the next week and I mightn't get my spot back.
Your brilliant run finally came to an end after 244. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was against Carlton, which obviously is one of our great foes. On that particular day, I just went up for a mark and Mark Porter went to spoil the ball. You know, something you do nearly every time you play the game. I was just a bit unlucky. He sort of punched the back of my hand and shattered two of the bones, and I ended up with a few pins and a few screws, and the doctor advised me not to play.
Was it a highlight of your career when you broke Jack Titus's record in '96?
Yeah, it definitely was. It was big, and it's the old story. You got the monkey off my back and I was able to just go and enjoy my footy then after that.
There's a few Irish guys trying out in the AFL now. Have you been keeping an eye on them?
Yes, and it seems like you've been keeping your eye on them too. Yeah, they're good young men. Actually, there might be a future husband in one of them for you.
Your career highlights, the Brownlee win would have been one of those.
Yeah, definitely. That was a big night.
Jim Steins from the Melbourne Football Club, the winner, the 1991 Brownlee medal.
And also, probably when I played my 250th, you know, we played Collingwood here and we beat them by 3 points. And that was a really good memory.
What are you doing in your business life?
I was involved 7 years ago founding a youth organisation, REACH. It's really an organisation that's about empowering other teenagers like yourself and others to get out there and do really whatever you want to do and believe that you can do it.
So do you have any coaching aspirations?
Look, I used to when I was playing, but now that I'm about to start a family, I sort of want to put my focus there. You know, maybe later on when kids are growing up a bit more, but at the moment I'll just stick it on hold.
Well, Jim, thanks for kicking back with me. You're still a legend.
Thank you, and good luck with your career. I think you'll do quite well, and you might even threaten Wayne Carey up there for a job in the future, okay?
Thanks.
Good luck.
Not a bad effort. 244 games straight for a guy who didn't play his first game of Aussie rules until he was 18 years old. When you talk about longevity in football, you really can't go past the two names I mentioned earlier, Bartlett and Tuck.
He gets a hand pass across to Tuck. Tuck now from the edge of the centre square. A long kick, a magnificent kick from Tuck. Kick right down here towards Kevin Bartlett and Royce Hart. Kevin Bartlett's got it. He screws the ball over. It's a magnificent shot. Comes to Russo, who taps it on. Tuck puts it forward. Oh, beautiful football. Hawthorn. Fitting tribute, Luke.
Well, it couldn't have gone to a nicer guy.
What sort of person are you in the morning? One that's easily irritated? Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm soothes and moisturises your skin after every shave. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm, for men who dare to care.
Can you see what's so special about the new Braun Synchro? It's the first shaver whose head moves from side to side to capture more hair and cut closer. It moves so fast you can't see it, but you can hear it. And to keep it feeling like a new shaver every day, here's how to clean it.
These gentle yet effective solutions were brought to you by Niall's gentle yet effective range of cough and cold medicines in supermarkets and pharmacies.
If you hold a current FAI home or car policy, or if it's due for renewal, you can rest assured. Your current or new policy will be covered by Allianz Australia, one of the largest general insurers in the country. Allianz Australia is part of the worldwide Allianz Group, which is 5 times bigger than the entire Australian general insurance industry. So you now have the Allianz power on your side.
For an FAI Allianz policy, call 131,000.
Hello? Have you heard you can save $1,000 on a 4-door Kia Rio with air and CD? Now only $14,990.
No, dear.
Kia's unheard of prices. Offer ends soon.
These gentle yet effective solutions were brought to you by Niall's gentle yet effective range of cough and cold medicines in supermarkets and pharmacies.
Tonight, on The Move, the latest load of boat people arrive in Perth. Wild storms wreck Steve Fawcett's round-the-world adventure and remembering the veterans of Vietnam.
Hi, Wayne Campbell here. Unfortunately, hamstring injuries are seemingly as common as a chest mate. But exercise physiologist Camilla Brockett has developed a training program which may see the end of the dreaded hammy.
And push all the way out. Squeeze in it hard. Push strong. Squeeze in it hard.
So this can fix my hamstring, can it?
Certainly the equipment here I'm hoping can. That's what we're in the business of, is assessing hamstring muscle function and trying to do something about these recurrent hamstring injuries. What I'm specifically looking at is the amount of strength that your muscle can produce during a movement.
So this chair here is connected to that computer?
Certainly is. Now what I'm going to get you to do is just some simple knee extension and flexion contractions where you'll push out, you'll use your quadricep muscles at the front of your thigh, and then you'll pull back in using hamstrings behind your thigh. Now wait till I say go. I'm going to give you a lot of encouragement so you can do your best.
Don't scare me.
Holding in and push all the way, Wayne, and squeeze hamstrings back in. Push strong, quadriceps, squeeze all the way in. Go all the way out. All the way in. Excellent.
Prevention's the best cure. If you're, you're preventing the injuries before they actually happen, you don't need to deal with them.
Is that 7 yet?
Keep going, a couple more to go. Push.
This is inspiring stuff.
And squeeze back in and push strong. Relax.
Well done. Got a clap?
You've got an applause. You've done very well. After analysis, if I find that there's a difference between the hamstring muscles, I'm likely to suggest to the athlete that they undertake a program of specific exercises, keeping your arms by your side, your tummy tight, your glutes tight. You're going to slowly lower your chest down to the ground, keeping your arms by your side.
Yep.
While you're doing that, your hamstring muscles are going to be doing all the work. They're going to be lengthening as you're stretching down. Slow it, slowly, slowly. Good.
Footballs obviously do a fair few hammies. What's the most vulnerable time for them? Is it the kicking or?
It certainly is the kicking. It's actually the last phase in the swing phase when the leg is extending out, and right at the end after they've kicked the ball, the hamstrings will contract to try to bring the leg down and to decelerate the forward motion of the leg, and that's when we're susceptible to muscle tears.
So you've just tested Tony. How are his strengths?
I don't think it'd be right for me to tell the opposition how his results turned out.
He's a good player?
Yes. And he didn't mind me encouraging him?
No, he didn't get as scared as me, did he?
I reckon there'll be a queue of players knocking on Camilla's door next week. And speaking of next week, that's when our Footy Smarts Grand Final will be held. Here's Barnesy with our final 4 contestants.
Thanks, Duck. Well, as you know, this is our last final for Footy Smarts before we hit the grand final next week. And it's all been brought to us by the AFL's new chips, Cheers. And with me today is field umpire Shane McInerney. How are you, Shane?
Good, Barnesy. It's good to be here.
What's your name, mate?
Shane. I'm from Victoria.
Good boy. Where are you from, buddy?
Max from New South Wales.
New South Wales.
Joel from Victoria.
I've seen you somewhere before, Joel. Australia's most wanted. Yes, mate.
Sam from South Australia.
Sam from South Australia. The old Crowies. I'll give it to this bloke today. Questions, please, Shane.
In a sealed envelope, Barnesy.
Thank you. Which 29-year-old recruit from the West Coast? Yes, Shane.
Troy Wilson.
Troy Wilson. Which 29-year-old recruit from West Coast Eagles kicked 7 goals against the Saints in round 3? Troy Wilson. Before being appointed the Director of Umpiring, what did Jeff Geeshan do?
Coach of Richmond.
He was the coach of Richmond, correct? Which Collingwood player took a screamer? Yes, Joel.
Chris Tarrant.
Chris Tarrant against the Demons at round 11 this year. Chris Tarrant, that was a beautiful mark. Just goes to show you how dominant the Victorians are. New South Wales nothing, Crows nothing. What is the noise you regularly hear Blue supporters yell out when... It's up to you again, Shane.
This has been a tough one, Barnesy, but I think Joel was just ahead.
Joel, all right, mate, give it to us. Woof. And the rest of that question was, when Ange Christou kicks the ball. Can we all say it, please? Woof. Which former ruckman holds the most games?
Shane.
Yes, Shane.
Paul Salmon.
Mate, that's a games most goals record at Essendon Football Club. Simon Madden, 378 games, 575 goals. The winner is Joel. Well done, buddy. Well done, champ. Well, Shane, we've had a fantastic 4 weeks of finals. We've got the grand final next week. I hope to see you there, mate.
Wouldn't miss it for quids, Barnesy.
Good on you, buddy. Well, there you go, boys. Consolation prizes. Thanks. We've got the Cheers potato chips. Back to you, Duck. See you next week.
Thanks, Barnesy. So here are our first 4 grand finalists. One of these lucky contestants will walk away with that magnificent major prize. Time now for our top 5. And when you talk of consistent performers, here's 5 of the best.
What sort of person are you in the morning? One that's easily irritated? Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm soothes and moisturises your skin after every shave. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm, for men who dare to care.
Father's Day, yo ho ho. Hardware House is the way to go.
Dad'll really go for this blower vac, just $129. And he'll get a blast with this Karcher pressure washer with detergent dispenser for a low ho ho, $198.
Gee, it's grouse.
When you're in a pub, mate, chatting up chicks, what job do you say you do? Manager?
A world leader.
What is your dream job?
I want to do multimedia design.
Go to seek.com.au, register all your details.
And they email you things every day.
They come back with an answer, pretty much guaranteed.
40,000 jobs online, mate. Excuse me, mate.
Seek, and you shall find.
Oh, Stephen never kicked a field goal in his life.
The World Cup semi-final.
It's time for someone to pull out something special.
21 all.
I looked up and I couldn't believe it.
Regan.
I thought, don't kick it.
Drop goal attempt by Larkham. Look at this. That's unbelievable. Stephen Larkham has put us...
I reckon I could do it again. Maybe.
Rugby. Anything can happen when the Vodafone Wallabies take on South Africa. We're gold to the game.
Like to win this Ripper Ford Ute? Then drop into a City Farmers store and we'll show you how. And while you're there, we've got Lucky Dog 15 kilos for only $14.99 a bag. Save over $5 with this super special. Just come to City Farmers.
Annoying quibbles? Other cars have them, but not Daihatsu Sirion. With standard features like power steering, central locking, dual airbags, CD player, all for just $13,990 drive away. No quibbles. From Daihatsu, that's who.
Is your pet spooked?
Little dog called Bonnie who's asked for a Ghostbuster.
So if your pet's seeing something you're not, who you gonna call? Oh! An all-new Harry's Practice, Sundays 6:30. Then, take one average meal at a dash of Aristos.
From all smells, it's coming along nicely.
And an everyday meal becomes exceptional. Plus, you've never seen anything like this dessert.
Yummo.
It's guaranteed to please on Surprise Chef, Sunday on 7.
Welcome back. Joining me now is St Kilda's Nathan Burke. Well, Burke, you've played over 300 games. You're injured at the moment, but you've had a very consistent career.
I like to think so, Wayne. That's one of the things I started out, when I first started out, wanting to be consistent, wanting to play well week in, week out, and the fact that you mentioned that is pleasing for me.
Do you think there are any secrets to maintaining longevity on the field?
I think so. Luck does play a small part of it, obviously with injuries, but I think there's probably two main things you can do. You can make sure you enjoy it and keep your enthusiasm up, and also know what makes you play good football, or have your own personal game plan that you stick to week in and week out. And if you tend to do that, you won't have the fluctuations in form.
Didn't he do well, Nathan Burke? He burst his way through.
When you first started with the Saints in '87, did you ever think you'd play 300 games?
No, I didn't. I was just trying to get that first one, and then you try and get the 50, and then you try and get the 100, and then you sort of build up the milestones from there. They tell you at the start that it goes very quickly, and at the start you say, yeah, sure it does, but nowadays I find myself giving that advice to other people that it does go very quickly, so you've got to really enjoy it and make every post a winner along the way.
I heard there's a funny story about some advice your dad gave you when you were playing in the under-9s.
Yeah, look, I was playing down in Frankston for a team called the Pines, and not knowing where the positions were, obviously they tell you you're playing on the wing, and that was my position, and the wing sort of patrolled from, say, the half-back line to the half-forward line, not going in the centre square, so that's pretty much where I stayed for the whole game, and if the ball was sort of 5 yards in front of me, but I didn't go past that spot in the half-forward line, just waited for it to come to me, so I'm sure the parents on the sideline saying, look, go get the footy, but no, I stuck to the coach's instructions and didn't go past that spot.
Blow brilliantly down to Burke. What a goal! What a goal!
The injury you have at the moment, you've been playing for 15 years. Yep. Is that the worst injury you've had?
It is the worst. I missed 7 games with a knee injury, the other knee, in 1990. So I missed 7. This time I'm going to miss 12, so it's the longest run I've had out, but I have been very lucky and haven't had anything major. I suppose if you play for 15 years, you're bound to get some sort of knee injury along the way.
So physically you feel great?
Yeah, look, it's strange, but the knee injury may be a blessing in disguise because that's going to be 100% by the time I start playing, but in effect I'm going to have almost 9 months off between my last game and my next game, so any other niggling injuries that I've got will be well and truly gone by then, and I should be able to complete a full pre-season, so it's hard to miss games, but it may do me good in the long run.
No worries. Thanks very much for joining us, mate.
Thanks.
Good luck to the Saints for the rest of the year and with the knee next year.
Thank you.
Cheers. Now we rejoin Barnesy for his second assignment as he tries to find out the secrets of longevity.
G'day, I'm John Barnes and I'm sick of all you kids having all the fun interviewing all the champions of the game. So today, I'm having a chat with a legend. The Essendon Hall of Fame is full of legends, but the one I'm looking for is right around the corner. Well, how are you, Sherd?
Yeah, not too bad, John.
Just a few questions, mate, for all the kids out there in TV land. Does it scare you that you've been at Essendon longer than what nearly half of our list is in years of age, like Adam Ramanauskas and Dean Solomon?
Yeah, look, I mean, a lot of people have brought that up. Look, it's not scary, but it's quite amazing.
21 years?
Yeah, 21 years.
You look a bit like a school teacher, aren't you, really?
Me?
You've got 42 students.
Well, yeah, well, fair enough from that point of view, but I've got Robbie Shaw to do the school teaching bit.
Yes,
I've got Mark Harvey to do the war bit. I'm actually a peacemaker these days.
Yeah, gotcha.
And Terry Danaher. Terry just brings an honest effort and a lot of sense of humour, doesn't he? And you've got a very, very good blend of experience, good knowledge, good youth, great enthusiasm. Look, I think that's a part of the vibrance of the place, and we just got to keep that up because, I mean, look, this AFL's not getting any easier. The constant is pressure, and the pressure there needs an outlet, and the outlet is the real camaraderie and fun you can have with each other, and
breaks the monotony.
And that's where you're at your best. I must admit, you are numero uno.
Oh, in other words, he's trying to tell me I'm a larrikin, I think. Seriously, Sheds, you've played more...
I was serious.
You've played more than 260, 270 games.
A few games.
That's probably 16, 17 years in itself.
And it's okay, there's Sheddy.
You've coached over 400 odd games, so that's another 21 years, as we know. That's 38, 39 years in footy. I've got to ask you, how do you do it?
The actual game I love, and I think that the developing of the game now is an important facet in my life and in the development of this club, because we can see that we're doing something and we're fulfilling, you know, what we believe is the perhaps where we think this club could be one day as a great sports club in the country. And one premiership, really, I don't think is enough at the moment, so happy but not totally.
I know you weren't born in 1890, Sheds, but over the years, you've obviously coached some legends and some champions. Could you name a few?
Yeah, you'd have to think that Watson and Hurd, Madden, Danaher, these sort of guys. Even Wanganeen was a fantastic Brownlow medalist and great player for us. I wouldn't like to kick a ball doing contesting and you send out Wanganeen, Hurd and Watson, because I'm not sure who would bring the ball back the most.
Be out there for a while.
Oh, it'd be a fantastic contest.
Would be.
I'd probably bring it back 3-3 and 3.
Nothing left of the left.
Nothing left.
Be a bladder, a bit of the footy. Thank you very much for your knowledge and your history of the game.
No,
and that is longevity, kids, I'm telling you. It's a marvellous achievement and obviously got another 21 years to go. I'll say happy birthday to you now, mate.
A dinosaur in my own zoo.
A dinosaur.
What sort of person are you in the morning? One that's easily irritated? Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm soothes and moisturises your skin after every shave. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm, for men who dare to care.
Who else but Reach is clever enough to take a traditional brush and give it the power to clean? Introducing the new Reach Power Brush with 2 power heads. A cleverly designed longer head for an all-over everyday clean to reach between the front and back teeth. The other for a targeted clean, removing plaque along the gum line and other hard-to-reach places. New Reach Power Brush with 2 heads for a complete clean you can actually feel.
The new release at Port Bouvard gives you a terrific ocean view home site from $75,000. Now, the same site in Perth will cost you 5 times that. Buy an ocean view home site from Port Bouvard and you'll never look back.
They're professional. They're fast. And they only ship the best. So you better move quickly because they'll be gone in 30 days.
During August at your Toyota dealer, get away in a Land Cruiser 78 limited edition loaded with extras at no extra cost. Or break away in the unbreakable Hilux with run-out bonuses on all models. The Toyota dealer's gone in 30 days sale. It's a steal.
Look at this. Dad, I love this. Oh, that's cool.
Kids?
Oh, it's Dad.
What are you guys doing here?
Nothing. What are you doing here?
Oh, just looking for a Father's Day present for
Simon,
Dad.
what are you all doing here?
Nothing.
For generations, people have been getting Father's Day gifts from Mitre 10. Because at Mitre 10, you'll find a gift you know he's going to love.
What are you doing here?
Just picking up a little something. William, is that you? Dad?
Tonight, the MCG plays host to the greatest game on earth as Mixed Magpies face the might of the Bombers. Collingwood and Essendon, 8:45 tonight, only on your footy station, 7.
Hi, I'm Rowan Smith from the Western Bulldogs. Before I run into Sean Wellman in round 14, I was leading the current crop of players for the most consecutive games in the AFL.
Smith looks up, courage. He hasn't moved, right? He hasn't moved, Smith.
I'd played 153 games on the trot, but anyway, join me for just a minute and I'll show you some of my prized possessions that I've collected over my career. One of my great thrills was to actually meet Mark Wall. He gave me one of his bats and he signed a couple of photos for me as well. Well, here's one here just taking a terrific mark or a catch, so what he always does. And this is my prized possession, my jet ski. A few of the boys have got jet skis, Nathan Eagleton. Playing State of Origin football was always a great honour for me. Played the Gabba against the Allies the following year, where I won the E.J. Whitten medal. A 1999 State of Origin, which was actually the last State of Origin. I got all the guys to sign the front of the one that I wore. And here I have my mantelpiece where I have all my trophies. The last game I missed was round 1 of 1995, so it was about 7 years ago. I've been lucky enough actually to steal a couple of footballs after a few games. This one was 1999 Tour of Ireland.
It will be an historic day. The E.J. Whitten stand is rocking.
This is actually the last ball used at the Whitten Oval. And we played West Coast in 1997 and I went over to the umpire and asked him if I could have the ball because it was the last game. So I got that one and got all the boys to sign it. A couple of years ago, the Bulldogs replaced all their lockers and I was pretty fortunate enough to grab mine. As you can see, there's a few players here with my name there. I haven't actually got a Bulldog to protect this house, but as you can see by the sign, the Smith kids take this place pretty well. Keely will be 4 in September and Jacob has just turned 2. Thanks for joining me in just a minute.
That's about it for the show. To be a part of any of the segments on Just AFL, grab a copy of the AFL record where you'll find all the entry details. Make sure you include a photo and the team you barrack for, and you could win a selection of 8 Australian football videos to the value of $250. This week's winner is Josh Burns of McGill in South Australia. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you again next week on Just AFL.
This program proudly brought to you by Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm. For men who dare to care.
What a view. You know, I reckon we live in the best place on earth. G'day. Listen, why don't you come up and take a look yourself? We'll even turn the lights on for you.